I don't even know how to start this video. Oh, I feel sick. Title to this video is unfortunately not clickbait. I have took the decision to pivot with Katnipp, and I am going to be closing down these studios and I'm going to be moving back home. In this video I'm going to go into what this means for Katnipp going forward, how we're going to adapt and change, and how we're going to pivot as a business, and me personally as an artist. This may come as like a big shock to many of you, especially since we had such a positive and wonderful launch last episode, but the last vlog that I actually uploaded, was a month ago. I did not expect to be getting emotional this close into the video. This is not sad news, by the way, guys. I'm going to go into my full thoughts and feelings as this video progresses. I actually do feel like this has been a very big weight that has been lifted off my shoulders since making this decision. I didn't expect to cry, to be honest. Hang on. Okay. For those of you who are new here and maybe just stumbled upon this video, hello, I'm Catherine, illustrator and designer and business owner behind Katnipp.com, Katnipp Studios. I opened Katnipp 10 years ago. Now in October will be our 10-year anniversary, and what started out as custom commissions slowly grew over time to a product-based business. But my initial starting of this whole business was illustrations, cute little stickers and merchandise, and over the last 10 years it has evolved into a huge product-based business. We've brought things out of house, we've brought things back in-house, we have collections, plushies, mouse mats, toys, apparel, and I have grown so much, not just as an artist and an illustrator, as a business owner, and most importantly as a person. The person I was years ago is different to what I am now, but at the core I feel like I've lost myself. You might have been able to see, if you've been existing to this channel, I've done several videos where I'm kind of fighting against my own inner heart, like my own inner voice, and I've been shutting it out and just like persevering with what I've been doing and just constantly growing, and ignoring this niggling feeling deep in my gut. And I've just been pushing it down, keep going. And I think just with everything that's going on with the current climate, the business, and then like America, like tariffs and stuff like that, I think it's just been the nail in the coffin of I don't think I can do this anymore. So last week I actually celebrated my 34th birthday, and this was actually the day that I decided to actually make this decision, and I fully solidified my decision to get rid of my studios, all my overheads, and all of the products in-house and ship from in-house. We will still be selling Katnipp products. I want to go into apparel, I want to do children's books. I mentioned earlier in the year that I have had the idea for children's books for such a long time. In fact, it was one of my biggest passions when I started out. I have illustrated my first book, and that's how I actually started and grew as a channel, more as an illustrator and an artist than a business owner. But as time went on, I just kept experimenting, and then I fell into more of a business owner role rather than an illustrator role. And as a result, I became a product maker rather than an artist and an illustrator. And this has been the path I've kind of been going down for a long time. And I mentioned earlier in the year that I really wanted to do my books. I've had this, if you're existing to the channel and you watch all the uploads, you know I've had writing my own children's books on my to-do list every single year for the last 5 years, and I just haven't had the time or energy actually to do it, because I know I need to just sit down and relax and do it. And another thing is, if you know me, we travel a lot as well and have been building up a personal channel to branch off, and I know I'll get a lot of judgment off people saying, well, don't travel as much and just knuckle down and work even harder. But if I'm being honest, I love traveling. I absolutely love it. It fills my heart with so much joy. But I've been trying to juggle like 2 lives, like split myself off into these 2 different people. One that loves slow travel, but I can't slow travel and create and illustrate on the road and share stories and content and videos and illustrate and read books and get inspired. And then there's the other side of me that needs to come back to the office to generate revenue to make sure we can even afford to keep things afloat. And I've been living like these 2 crazy lives for like the last 2 to 3 years, and it is not sustainable to keep it up this way. And if I'm being completely honest, me and my husband have been trying for children for the last 11 years, and unfortunately that hasn't worked out for us just yet. And there was a part of me in the back of my mind that was like, well, don't worry, I can think and reevaluate how we're doing things and how we're living this busy lifestyle, trying to juggle both things at once. I'll think about that when I finally get pregnant and I'm forced to slow down, and then I'll do it then. However, we don't even know if that's going to be on the cards for us anymore, and we don't know what the future holds. But with my birthday rolling round, I realised I can't just keep grinding until something happens. Something needs to change. And I've been doing a lot of self-reflection and walking. I've been doing like my 10k steps every day, and this has allowed me the chance to just walk and think through everything, think through how I envision my life, what brings me the most joy as a person and as an artist, and what is no longer fulfilling me emotionally. So the last, probably from 2020, last 5 years has felt to me almost like it feels like wading uphill in knee-deep thick mud. That's how the last 5 years has felt to me in terms of my product-based business. Times have got really, really hard as a small business owner, but not just that, I've actually surprisingly had one of the best years we've just had. We made $250,000 turnover this year. Most business owners will know the majority of that is just keeping the lights on, paying staff. I feel like I was at a crossroads and there was a sign, and I feel like I've gone down one road where it's become more about small business, more about revenue generation, more about product creation. And last year we also got the deal to work with Roland, which was absolutely amazing. I remember thinking, okay, well, maybe we could do this, maybe we could bring things back in-house, and we could generate more revenue by printing stickers and doing manufacturing. And so then I started going down this route, and I found myself this year, as some more deals have come in, at this tree line, and beyond me is a forest, a really thick forest, and I was feeling a pit in my stomach because it had started to become about, right, what's next? Now we've made $250,000, we need to make $500,000. To make $500,000, we need to employ more staff, we need to do affiliates, we need to open a Slack and bring teams in. All the at the same time, there's all this stuff going on with GDPR in Europe, and now different tariffs coming into place, and I was about to step into this forest, and I felt like if I was going to step into this forest, I would get lost and I'd be stuck in there, and it'd be much harder to find my way out. And when I truly think about what I actually want to do as a person, I close my eyes. Oftentimes, when I'm in my van and when I went on the NC 500 and there was beautiful mountains and trees and we got to walk and I got to read, and I had the urge to get out my iPad, which I never really get when I'm in the studio anymore, and I felt so creative and free. But then I come back to the studio, I'm like, right, well, we need to make the staff wages, we need to make this product for this, and maybe put thousands of pounds into this product, and it might not work. And I feel like my true heart, if I close my eyes and imagine how I want to live, I want to live where I'm slowly traveling or slowly moving or sitting in a cottage and I'm writing my stories and creating my characters and connecting with you guys and creating content and storytelling and designing cute t-shirts and jumpers and colouring books and children's books. That's what I want to do, and I'm not going in the right direction, and I've come to this realisation, but it's really hard to let go because this is the only direction that I've known. This direction that I've gone in is the only road that I've known, and it's almost like a safety, even though it's not safe because it costs thousands of pounds to even keep the lights on, and it's actually more volatile. But I don't know any other way because this is how I've learned how to grow up. But I realise it's not who I am as a person. I'm sick of chasing money, and I'm sick of like worrying. I'm just the thing is, I'm chasing the wrong thing. I'm chasing money and I'm not chasing creativity and freedom. And I had this realisation when I was at the forest in the trees, just about to take a step, that I could actually look back and walk back the path I came. It just means pivoting and changing my plans. It's kind of scary to do that because obviously I don't know what the next road ahead is. I also had this realisation, I get so inspired, like my trip to Japan. I realised I get a lot of inspiration, and I've shared this through like Beatrix Potter and like Peter Rabbit and Miffy, Dick Boone and Miffy, Sanrio, Hello Kitty, all of these character shops. And when I was in Japan, I was going to these character shops and I was like, well, maybe, and I seen these mystery boxes and I was like, well, maybe we can manufacture them, but it costs tens of thousands of pounds to get things like plushies and stuff manufactured, and it is so much outgoings, and there's a better way to do them. And I'm looking at these character shops and I was missing one crucial bit of information, is that the artists who are creating these characters aren't the ones manufacturing and shipping these products. They're the ones creating these characters, telling these stories, creating online comics, connecting with people, making people laugh. They're not the ones with studios buying stuff in and warehousing. They're licensing their characters out to other people, and I realised that was actually more in line with who I am than the route I'm currently going down. I just had to really listen to myself and work all this out. I honestly think there's just a lot of fear, because I also know that a lot of people watch these vlogs as inspiration because maybe they want to be like a small business owner artist, but I will admit, having a product-based business like mine becomes 95% product making and marketing than it does actually creating art for the sake of art, experimenting. It doesn't allow you any free time to do any of that. And I think I've come to the realization as well, actually, when I was on my walk, it was quite funny actually. It was very like over dramatic, but I was walking on the beach and Bittersweet Symphony came into my head, you know, do 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 do, and I was listening to the listening to the lyrics, and it says you're a slave to the money, then you die. And I feel like I've been sucked in from about 1 or 2 years ago to this small business revenue generating lifestyle that isn't who I am from the core of as a person. This is not what fulfills me, and even though we've generated $250,000, I'm so proud of that, it actually doesn't mean anything. I'd rather make enough just to pay my bills for me and my husband and live life to the fullest, being creative and exploring, writing children's stories, creating videos for you guys to enjoy. And I realised that was more in tune with who I am than the path that I was leading down. I was at the forest in the trees, I was just about to step in, and I've made the decision to completely change, and I think I've never felt so free and light as I do right now. My husband works with me, he's the director of a company now as well, and we also have our brother-in-law Mike, but he has been trying to grow and go self-employed along with his wife Ashley. That has been his dream for quite a long time, and he even mentioned that last Christmas might be the last Christmas he has with us. So then I also had to think, I have to employ some more members of staff. There was a little bit inside of me that just had dread, deep dread, like setting in to my stomach, but I just ignored it. I was like, no, this is the direction that I'm going in. I was listening to like business podcast people who were like hustle but then I started listening to podcasts by like Ali Abdaal, who was like asking these like millionaires and even billionaires that what happens when you get to then 1 million? And they're like, well, then I want to get to 2 million. And then what happens when you get to 2 million? Well, then I guess we get to 3 million. And I was just thinking, this is not what I want at all. This is not who I am. This is not what fulfills me. What would be a better goal for me is writing my first book, and then my second book, and then my third book, and then my fourth book, and sharing stories and seeing how you guys connect with the characters and building the world of Katnipp. And I realised the path that I was on was going down the complete wrong direction. So what does that mean for Katnipp? Katnipp.com is still going to exist. I also have thousands of products on the shelves. I have actually gave up this studio already. I have till May to move out. So this studio here, which was my editing studio and a backstock studio, we have handed the keys in already to that, and we are planning over the next few months of getting rid of all our stock, and we're going to be handing the keys to both studios by the end of summer is our goal, preferably July. And we are going to be moving and renovating the garage in our home to create a smaller art studio that I can work from, and cutting out all the overheads, and just going back down to me and Dean working together. And what does this mean in terms of Katnipp the shop? It means our physical products that we manufacture in-house, our stickers, our plushies, will be sold off and everything will be gone. So if you have had your eye on some things here at Katnipp, I would highly recommend get them if you really want in them, because we will no longer be shipping directly from my studio. There was a part of me that toyed with fulfillment and sending our stuff to a third party fulfillment centre, but if I'm being honest, it still gives us the same issue of having to fork out thousands of pounds worth of stock and inventory for it to be sat in a fulfillment centre. So we decided to go against that, and we're actually going to be more focusing on digital and pivoting to digital products. You guys have actually been asking me for digital products for a very long time. I have had so many requests for digital stickers and SVGs and things like that, and I haven't done them because obviously we sell physical stickers. So it kind of was like, well, I sell the physical stickers, and if I sell the digital stickers, people might not want the physical stickers. So we are going to be transitioning. I'm also going to keep my apparel, and I'm actually going to grow my apparel range, because this is something that actually makes me so happy. I've just been to Disney World and took loads of photos in my t-shirts and stuff, and we will be using our apparel and stuff, which is print on demand, and designing lots of new t-shirts and cute things with our characters in. But this will free up time to finally do things that you guys actually hopefully will get much more value in than another mouse mat launch or some more sublimation mugs. And hopefully I can bring you guys planners, which has been something that's been highly requested but will take so many weeks of development and design that I haven't even got a chance to even sit down and do it. So hopefully planners, colouring books, children's books, and we'll be doing it from a kind of print on demand book facility. I've got a few in the works that I'm going to test with and actually self-publish my own books. So that's what Katnipp is going to still be here, but we are not going to be shipping physical products from the store. We actually have thousands of pounds worth of stock coming in for a spring launch with Sugar Puff the sheep, which you will have seen me develop on this channel. So we still have all that stock currently getting shipped out to us on this somewhere in the North Sea, and we have decided that this is going to be the final launch we ever do, like we've been doing here at Katnipp. And then it will be us clearing the studios, and then the journey into building a home office, moving back home. And then we've decided once we hand in the keys and everything's like locked away, we are going to take a month off to reevaluate. I'm actually still gonna upload on my personal channel and this channel, but I mean a month off developing anything, because I'm always developing like a new product, or I'm always like illustrating a new thing when I'm traveling. But we're gonna just take a month off, and if I feel like I want to start my children's book, then I will. But we've just said we'll take a month off. We might book a one-way ticket on a plane somewhere and see where our life takes us, and live a life more creatively fulfilling and freeing and more us. And I just want to live more authentically to who I am as a person, and I think this is the right direction, and I feel like a weight has been lifted off my shoulder. I have to admit I've been scared to put this video up because it's almost like admitting defeat, but I've been really giving myself a good go for the last like 5 years to try and make this work, and it's not working. Something's got to give. I've made $250,000 this year, which is similar to the revenue we made back in 2020, but the thing is the costs have got higher, the products have got higher, there's GDPR that we have to pay for, there's now tariffs coming into place. So although on paper we've made the best we've ever made by £20,000. I think in 2020 it was like 230,000 turnover we managed to make. We have actually made a lot less profit, like a lot less, and I would just rather make enough to pay our mortgage, to be afford to travel in our van, like on the NC 500, going to coffee shops, taking in nature, sketching, living a much slower pace of life than what I have been, because it's just not sustainable the way I'm going, and it's not working. I've gave it a good 5 years of persistent, consistent effort, practice, experimentation. I've tried new products, I've tried new releases, I've tried being like the big character shops, but realised to get like the big character shops you have to license your product, you don't make the product yourself. And I've gone down this whole like path of experimentation, and this is where I've come to. So going forward, this channel is going to go back to more of a slower pace artist illustrator channel, which is what I started with in the first place. Less of the small business hustle grind. It's going to be a new chapter and a new era, and I'm definitely, it's not a sad one. I'm actually really excited, and I feel more inspired than ever to write stories, create comics, do my character pages that I've opened on Instagram, and share more of that with you, and hopefully bring you guys along more on the journey. So you'll be seeing a lot more from me, sorry about that, but it will look a lot different. No longer will I just be pumping out new products and trying to sell them and having all this waste in the studio and then ignoring this gut feeling. I'm going to chase more a life of creative freedom than I am of a small business hustle grinder, and follow my heart more. So yeah, this is the start of a brand new chapter, which is kind of fitting, seeing as though it'll be 10 years since I opened in October, and we're pivoting. We're going to pivot together. I'm going to document everything. I've been documenting my journey on this channel for like 6 or 7 years now. This is where we're at. It really is. I've had a lot of vlogs that say a new chapter and stuff, but this is really a new chapter. We're going to be moving back home. So this is where I am. I'm really nervous about this video going live. It may seem like a big shock to a lot of you, but I also think a lot of you will probably have seen this coming before even I had seen this coming. Oh, that's one thing as well. I am keeping some equipment. We are getting rid of our huge rolling printer because it costs a lot to run, and seeing as though we're not gonna be shipping products from our studio, we have took the decision to sell that printer. We will be getting rid of that, but I will be keeping my crickets. I will be keeping a lot of crafts stuff because I do like to make crafts and stuff, and I also might still do limited releases like the Bon Buns Bunny Bundle. I might do still seasonal boxes now and then where I ship them from my home studio, and we create like a cute specialist box or something once every season or something. So I still want to hold on to that just in case I still get the itch to create like little bundles, because I really enjoyed that and you guys really enjoyed it, and it was really fun to see what number you got. So we need to renovate the garage, so I'll be taking you on that journey on this channel of creating a new studio at home and moving everything back home and following my heart and following my gut. I am very excited but also very nervous. I'm more nervous about putting this video out because it's going to seem like quite a big shock I think to everyone as we pivot. But yeah, I would also love to hear what you would actually like me to do at Katnipp. What would you truly like to see, and what would be of value to you? Not the little things like another mouse mat or anything like that. I mean, what would you really actually like to see? Would you like to see planner, digital stickers, tutorials? What would you like to see? Let me know in the comments below. I do feel like this is definitely the right decision, and I do feel like I am so excited for the future now to see what it has to hold, and I do feel like I've had this weight lifted off my shoulder. I don't have to worry about making just £8 a month just to literally keep the lights on here. The pressure that it's relieved has been like incredible. So I hope you guys have fun following along and building the wonderful world of Katnipp. It's going to look a little different around here, but first of all we are going to prep for the final and last spring launch here, and then we are going to unpack and start our new life. So I'll see you in the next one. All right then, thanks so much for watching. I love you. Goodbye.